Great, nice.
So how are you guys doing?
We're doing good.
Okay.
And unfortunately, Ron, our project manager, had some urgent calls, so he's not able to join us. Really, I would like to take this opportunity to discuss on few things. We are part of 360C project, and we basically work on the integration, social media listener integration part.
Okay.
So I'd like to take this call to discuss more on the maybe to start with on the status part, and then we have few more points to discuss as well.
Okay.
So to start with on the status, we are on the initial planning phase, trying to understand based on the requirement, we have 3 different tools to analyze, and we are just comparing.
Can I see the status report?
Sure. Actually, again, 1 second. So sorry for that. Technology. These are the 3, 4. Yeah. Okay.
So we are, as I said, we are just in the initial planning phase.
Okay.
So we were kind of doing a matrix analysis on 3 different tools to understand which best fits our requirement on the social media listener. So we have been analyzing on various factors in those tools, and those things are still in progress, but we are almost close in finalizing our recommendation for that.
Okay, that's good.
So,
that's very good.
Yeah. So at a high level, we are in that phase, finalizing on the tool, which one to be recommended, and in our planning phase, we also foresee an date related clash on the releases. We found that ICM is getting released. It is on the integration phase at this point of time, and it's getting scheduled for I think it's on October, and
Okay.
the ICM thing is getting released. And we have a huge dependency on the ICM. When I say the social media integration piece, the tool has a huge dependency on the ICM part. And the expectation is the tool has to get released along with ICM, which is we start as per the plan. We start our project on September 2nd, and that's supposed to get released on October end along with the ICM. Where I see some kind of concerns because we just on the initial planning phase, and we have a bunch of tasks to move across on all those other areas like development, and we have, as this piece requires integration with various other systems, I believe that the testing should be a kind of a well-elaborated one. So it has to go through several rounds of testing on different environment basically before we release it to the actual go live. Because it's a core part where it does the artificial intelligence of data sensing and other stuffs. So I feel that the timeline is little really tight. If as per the plan, if we start by second week of September, it would be really hard to get it finalized on the October end to get it released along with ICM. So that's one of the roadblocks.
What are you trying to tell me then?
So what I'm saying is we see a roadblock on that part, and I would like to get your recommendation. What kind of mitigation plan? We have a mitigation plan in place. We just want to kind of discuss with you on that as well as.
What is your mitigation plan?
So what I'm seeing here is for this social listener, for building the social listener, we are still on the assessing the tool. So once based on the requirement, maybe I can just go back and prioritize the requirement, and then if you can just point me to the right team from the business side, whom I can work with on prioritizing the tasks. I can just try to cut down or maybe break the release into 2, so that I just release the basic skeleton, which works perfectly fine with the basic functionalities, and then take the next set of requirements in the next release. Thereby, we are not disturbing the system as such. It still works with.
Does it actually work that way? Because I thought the requirements that we have provided is fundamentally basic requirements for a listener.
No,
cannot work with.
No, it has basic functionality as well as it has some functionality we have to send an alert, emailing functionality as well, based on that. So we have classified the requirements into 6 different categories. So So on that, like there are primary tasks which can still keep the system live and get the data up and running. There are other features which are kind of built on top of that. It's a kind of add-on feature, but definitely it is going to be an important feature in business later point of time. But still, how we can break it is like break it with the essential features in one place and then the later enhancement in the next release.
So what is the impact of that on training and release management?
So the training is still going to be the same. Like anyhow, we have to train the business user on how this application is going to get used on the actual scenario. Maybe on the training part, again, like it needs to be broken into two, or you can even keep it in one single shot with the training. But those features, we would be still showing it on the UI, but those features might not be able to, like they might not be able to work on it at that point with the customer.
Will that cause more confusion?
No, we would be able to block it on the production environment for those access, and then we can release it once we have the actual functionality in place.
And of course, we would align training with the functionality that we provide, so that we don't create this kind of confusion. You just try to raise you.
I personally feel that will be more disruptive to the business. This is already disruptive. This is a big engagement that we are having, and this is already disruptive to the business. And I have all my business VPs saying their resources have been already taxed quite a bit. So having multiple releases is something to think about.
Okay.
But I mean, matter of the fact is, all the competitors have this capability, along with their customer management service. So, and the direction from the board and the requirements from the board is to have this implemented, along with the CSM project.
Yeah.
The ICM project.
ICM project, right. So that's the mandate, essentially.
So Pritesh, just to jump in, the downside of the risk that we see is if we are going live with the system with these conflicting dates, the complication of the system there is that there is a probability, there's a risk to customer data as well. Because we're trying to crunch two go lives into one scenario. I think you're probably familiar with your experience around these kind of constrained releases. And looking at the present current world scenario where your customers are more concerned about the PI and privacy data, would probably prefer to kind of take your recommendation how we plan this out in a proper way. But at the same time, we're trying to minimize the risk to your enterprises with going live with new systems. So I probably want your recommendation. How would you want us to see it? Definitely, we're working on a plan. We would love to meet more with you and discuss the whole strategy out. But I definitely want to know what your thought process is on.
So again, as I said, the mandate from the senior management as well as the board is to implement social media listener with the ICM project. It's very critical for our business that we have this capability, especially when our competitors are giving this capability and are having this capability, and they're actually stealing customers from us every month. So this is very, very important for us. This is very important for us.
We get the importance, and we share that importance. So would this mitigation plan, would that be an option to meet the deadline, or would it be no option for you at all?
As far as I can see, it's not an option. But I just want to also add that speaking to my team, what we have realized is we don't want this capability only for our customer service representatives. We want it for all the stores across the world. So we actually want it released worldwide along with ICM.
So would that be then a scope change here? Are we going for a scope change? Because that's what not what in the original scope. So we have to think about replanning, of course, if it should be rolled out worldwide, and we have then to recalculate when we have to create that to meet the ICM deadline, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Okay, that sounds good. As long as you guys are able to plan that, that'll be good. Okay.
So we'd definitely like to meet with you, Pritesh, the next time in, and probably come up with a better idea and a solution on how to go about this.
Yeah.
And thanks for your inputs as well, because and again, as Chris pointed out, this is a lot of scope that we need to think of, and we also need to think of the data around it as well. So
Okay,
definitely.
the next time we meet, if you guys have some ideas
Yeah.
around this and come up with a plan to get it done with ICM, that'll be
Yeah, we will
fantastic.
set up a follow-up call with you
Okay.
to discuss with the revised plan. Maybe like you can just go through the plan.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good. Thanks a
Okay.
lot.
Thank you.
And we'll get to you with the new plan and
Oh, by the way, I did want to talk about one other thing before
Yeah.
we wrap it up.
sure.
So I got an email from one of our IT directors. So there was a customer who was getting some random emails, and she from our account, and she complained, and we went upon further investigation. We saw that the Twitter handle of that customer account was changed for some testing, and because of that, she was getting some random emails that she should not have received. It almost seemed like a data breach. And our IT team investigated and found some Drew had changed a Twitter handle in the production instance.
Okay.
So, I mean, this is a clear PII violation. So, this is completely unacceptable.
Yeah.
Is this something that happens all the time on your projects?
No, usually, first of all, sometimes, of course, some things are changed. We're just human, so mistakes happen. Nevertheless, this is not the quality of our work, as you may have also expected from different projects we already had with you. So this should not happen, especially when it's directly on the production line and it's going out to the customer. So we are sorry for that, and we would like to investigate with your colleagues, or we would like to if it's possible, that your colleagues share the information with us, so that we can also go into our processes and to get an idea what we can change, that such an incident will never happen again. Would that be good enough for you? Is that an option?
No, I'm more concerned. So what has happened, but I'm more concerned about how we're going to prevent this going forward.
So-
Exactly, that's what I said.
Yeah.
We would like to look much more into detail into that, so that we can look for ourselves which processes, which quality assurance we did not meet in that point, so that we can prevent it in the future, so that never happens again, especially on the production line.
So
Because,
Pritesh, I completely agree to your concern, and Deloitte treats any kind of personal PII information breach as huge. We have a dedicated practice related to cybersecurity, and I'm not sure whether they have been in touch with you, but I probably go
But
back.
this is not a cybersecurity related issue, isn't it? This is like an intentional misuse of the production system
Absolutely,
for testing.
absolutely.
So, not sure if the cybersecurity team will be able to help us.
Absolutely,
Maybe
but
they'll ask us to pay more money for them.
no, how Deloitte works as a team is we do have people who we bring in a lot of practitioners out, and they do help us in a bunch of engagements. So we definitely reach out to them, and we analyze our business processes in dealing with these kind of issues and how we can prevent them. It's more of a cautionary or a guardian kind of a measure to make sure that we do our functionality right, and we do not have these kind of breaches anymore. That's the thought process around that.
And like just to add to that, like even now in the current system, we do have a process in place to stop all these kind of issues when we take the data to the non-prod environment. We just have to go back on this and check like what has gone wrong on our process, and definitely like we'll just try to patch hole on that process as well.
Okay. All right. So as long as it doesn't happen, I'll bring it up to Lee as well.
Sure.
So you guys might want to escalate it to your project
Yes, we
manager
will. Yes.
as well. Okay.
Any further issues or any further recommendations? Would we should look much more into it?
No. As long as you guys are able to get me that plan to implement social listener by end of this week, is that what the plan is?
Yeah, that's right.
We're
Like,
trying to-
I'll be setting up a call maybe tomorrow on this on a follow-up call once we have some revised document on the plan. As well as like it would be great like if you can just point us to the right business where we can just discuss with them
Okay.
to understand like which takes more priority. Like anyhow, we have a priority list, but again, we just want to get it validated with the right business people.
Okay. So, all right. From my perspective, everything is a priority. So,
Good.
yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. Out of roll. So we start out with you guys giving feedback on yourselves.